Okay, got an interesting one for you to watch here. Breaks my heart and saddens me in producing this film, but I want to show the police what actually happens on public roads. Whilst delivering some furniture up at Coventry today, we had 3 goons driving 3 black vans with only one of them with a trade plate displayed in the front window, which is the middle of the 3 you see here. The one just approaching the back of our wagon, the cameras picked up the trade plate in the window, but none of these 3 drivers have any form of trade plate on the back of the vehicle or in the back window. The in camera we've got mounted front and rear on our wagon isn't of high resolution, but it will show you the actual full-time footage of the 3 goons driving these vans. The footage you're going to see shortly absolutely makes me wrench with anger and upset how these people drive on public roads. If there's a family in a car or elderly people driving, these people are the type that cause accidents. It's taken me 2 or 3 hours to put the footage together. I've shot quite a bit on the iPhone from the passenger seat of our van. Straight away, you'll see they join the M42 towards the NEC in the racing lane. They are literally racing along. You'll see on the back camera they are weaving in and out of the traffic to race each other along the M42. The footage will show this in more detail. The smartphone camera which I had on my lap, I've actually just filmed the registration of one of the vehicles, which is the leading one, which had the trade plates front and rear. The other 2 have nothing whatsoever on front or back of the vehicles. All 3 of them are in the outside lane, all 3 of them are racing, weaving in and out of traffic. The worst is yet to come. You could just tell by their driving style. I don't know where these people are hired from. This company that employs them needs to have them in the office perhaps. The police need to ideally go and see them and say, look, what do you think you're doing? Have you got a driving licence? Resit your test. You'll see this one here bouncing around in the cab with obviously the music very loud, which isn't an offence, but driving without due care and attention straight away comes to mind. Probably can't hear any traffic around him, couldn't hear if anyone's popping a horn. This is the 3rd goon driving along. These 2 will make an almighty motoring offence in a short while, which you'll see. Those of you who don't want to watch this, please don't, because it's very upsetting to see what these 2 do. I'm pleased I actually caught it on camera because these can cause an accident in the future. So I'm just going to let you watch for a moment, and I'll come back to you when I've got something to put to you to watch. So please just carry on watching. Just while we're following this wagon, Charlie Kilo 23, Victor Alpha X-Ray, you'll see there's no trade plates on the rear of these 2 vehicles whatsoever. You see the guy in the front bouncing around like an idiot, driving without due care and attention. We're in a contraflow. There's roadworks, there's a speed limit, there's heavy traffic on the motorway, and he's acting like a complete idiot. The one behind him will actually act more like an idiot in a moment, and that's why I've made this film and put it online for the police to see. And I'm hoping West Mercia Police will actually follow this up, and hopefully a prosecution or a retest of their licences is required. So we're just following the 3 wagons. This footage you're seeing now is actually the real-time footage from the back of our van, showing them coming off the M40 and heading on to the M42. I wanted to show the full footage unedited from the rear and the front. so the police have a full record of how they were driving. In a moment you'll see this one van, as I mentioned to you, literally just come straight onto the M42, absolutely like a Formula 1 racing car, just dart for the outside lane, weave right behind that car, straight away accelerating, undue care and attention, literally has got to catch the other guys up in a van. There is a speed limit on this motorway as well, as you probably appreciate, but that's no way for driving a van, and it hasn't got trade plates on, as I mentioned, front and rear. We've got two in front of us on the camera at the moment, and we've got this one behind. This is the one which we're going to just pick up in a moment, but this is the real-time footage, which you've already seen from the iPhone, but I wanted to have the in-car footage for you to see actually the real-time footage. So I'll come back to you in a moment to add some commentary. Okay, this is a clip from the van camera, which will match the iPhone footage. The iPhone footage is far superior for resolution and detail. Good thing about front and rear cameras and the smartphone, you can piece the imagery together by other cars on the motorway, matching colours, makes of vehicles, lorries, etc. So you can actually piece it together to make you an accurate time frame. But what I really want to portray here is actually their driving style without due care and attention, and the horrendous driving actions they're about to make in a couple of moments time. So please just bear with me as the footage unreels. What's most important is this film isn't edited. It's only just chopped up into sections, but the whole footage is there, which is really important for a prosecution for these three drivers, because the worst is yet to come. Okay, we've just gone past the turning A34 to Shirley. We're on our way to the NEC, busy motorway, the M42, contraflow, roadworks, speed limit in place. Their driving style in a moment is beyond comprehension, and I just felt sickened watching it, edited it, putting it together, and I hope this is beneficial for the police to actually follow it through for prosecution. You can just see the driver weaving momentarily there. You'll see why in a moment, because the smartphone actually picks him up. What he's doing is having a nap with his hand on his chin and not concentrating on driving at high speed in the outside lane in a contraflow with roadworks and a speed restriction of 50. He decides he's going to have a nap in his hand. The worst is yet to come, so please just carry on watching. I think you won't believe what's going to happen. Okay, right, we've got a high resolution smartphone now, so we get it all in detail. That's one male Caucasian driving without due care and attention, which you'll see in a moment. That's his colleague. Yet again, no trade plates on the back of that van, so there's two of them. The leader, he's actually out in the front, about a quarter of a mile in front, you see he's got trade plates front and rear, so he's correct by displaying trade plates. These two goons have nothing whatsoever, and They shouldn't be on the road. They should have been pulled over and stopped. AMPR should hopefully pick them up, or the police follow us through. So please watch. Now, what's going to happen is they are going to come side by side. The one on the left is now bouncing around to some loud music, which concentration, driving with due care or driving without due care and attention. In a moment, you'll see them wind down the windows, which will be highlighted with a circle, and they'll start shouting to each other through the windows, having a conversation, driving side by side, holding the traffic up for about 2 miles. At this stage, when I was filming with the smartphone, I couldn't believe what was happening. They were accused of traffic piling up behind. These two goons decided to hold the traffic up, have a conversation, bouncing around like idiots with possibly loud music on. Got no idea what's going on in there. But in the moment, if you watch the wing mirrors, you'll see both windows come down and they start having a chat across the motorway in a contraflow in a 50-mile-an-hour restricted zone, busy motorway. I just felt if there were children in the car with families, elderly people driving, this is not what you want on public UK roads. I've just gone past the sign that says police speed check area. But they are possibly doing 50 miles per hour or thereabouts because the traffic flow is matching them. It's their driving style and driving without due care and attention. If you watch especially the chap on the left-hand side, just got his electronic cigarette out. In a moment, they'll both open their windows and start having a conversation or shouting match across the motorway at each other, not paying attention to the traffic whatsoever. Remember, at this time, there's a whole convoy of traffic behind us. I know we are on a contraflow, but they are holding everyone up. Windows about to open. There you go. Windows down. They start now having a shouting match, talking to each other. The one on the right paying attention to the one on the left. Shouting, talking to each other, windows open, clearly seen in the wing mirror there. The evidence is all for you there to watch. Heavy in conversation, probably worse than using a mobile phone in your hand, because they're actually not looking at the road in heavy motorway traffic, and they're looking at each other driving big wagons, and the one is in the fast lane. Unbelievable. We just highlighted the guy on the right because he's now having a shouting conversation with the one on the left, and they're right side by side having a shouting conversation match across the motorway. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Police, if you're watching this, please get these two into a station for questioning, and I'd like personally these two to go to court and be made to sit their driving test and their HGV licence taken off them. All right, this stage here, we're coming off for the NEC to drop some furniture off. So the speed restriction has been removed above the gantry. The one in the middle lane's decided to accelerate, and we're about to leave these two goons and the one further on ahead to be on their way. But I'm pleased in some ways that I've actually filmed it to prevent any further accidents in the future with these idiots, how they drive and conduct themselves on British roads. Saddens me to produce this film, but thank you very much for watching, and let's keep our roads safer for pedestrians, cyclists and other road users.